Hi everyone, my name is Adrienne Castagnola and today I'm going to talk about when designing a multi-platform site, which should come first, the mobile site or the desktop site. And I think that question is really leading to what came first, the chicken or the egg. Basically, we want to do websites because we want to gather information and we want to do it pretty quickly. But then again, we also want to have a mobile site because we want to gather information and we want to do it pretty quickly. So when it comes to just regular websites, I think good design comes from balance, grid, color, graphics, typography, white space, and connections. We used wireframes recently, and I thought that this was a great example of showing a wireframe because it all comes from a plan. And having good web design, obviously, there needs to be a plan behind it. Also, with good design, there's also that in the mobile apps as well. And I thought that this was a pretty interesting chart of influencers of performance. And obviously, apps have different influencers to be user friendly and customer centric. You want them to have graphics and interaction, connect with content, features, and algorithms. But then there's also the back end and what is important for the mobile device, the mobile platform, and the coverage from the actual network itself. Now, of course, going through this, it's still the question of, well, what do you need? Do you need the content or do you need the influencers behind the performance? And for me, you're not going to have anyone come to your website or your mobile app without good information. And I think it starts from a website personally. I think navigation will always help no matter what, but as in we things we've talked about in this module, we've talked a lot about mobile platforms and how they're important, and navigation always helps. The navigation has to be clear and concise, and therefore, with that being said, there needs to be um, search queries, but also drop down information and contextual information so it allows you to dig deeper and find the information that you really need. This is a great example from YouTube showing a little gallery where the cursor is, and then going from there you can move forward and find more things that you need to find. People use their mobiles to enhance productivity, comfort, and pleasure everywhere and at any time. They could be waiting for a bus, they could be walking down the sidewalk, they can be even on the train and going to and from, and therefore the mobile applications need to focus on a core utility and they need to be fast and reliable in order to be of value to anyone using them. So obviously we need it and we need it now. And this was a good picture of two different setups of, you know, mobile use and actually being able to get information when you need it and exactly how you need it. Common experience will show this is also another different example that there's usually 4 steps when you are using a mobile device, and usually you go to the search button, you wait for the loading of the animation. You might see the first part of the list on the third scene, and there can be placeholders, but then lastly is when the actual thumbnails of the images will appear, which can help move forward. Um, and therefore, it brings me to my final point of, you know, we all depend on our mobile apps so much, but when we dig down deep into it, we're getting information somewhere off the web, and it's something that we need. And we wouldn't be going to it if it didn't help us ultimately and it didn't make sense. So we won't use information um, from a bad website, and we want credibility, and therefore I think it's important to have a good website with good information to then go ahead and make a mobile app with all of the things that I discussed today about, you know, what makes a good mobile app, but ultimately it comes from a good website. So I hope you enjoyed it.